Hi, welcome to our first week of our web design session. Uh, we're going to, on this first class, I'm going to kind of do some intros and we're going to look at the syllabus. I'm going to kind of give a quick review of how to use Canvas, our learning management system. And I just want to let you know that before you start and panic over any of the homework that we do, that I love this quote that says, fail often so you can succeed sooner. So in my class, there is no such thing as failure. We learn from every mistake that we do, and I'll guide you towards getting, a better solution to any of your problems or, the work that you do. So I'm going to take a quick review. We're going to go over and take a look at the syllabus and kind of walk you through that. And I'm going to give you a little tour of how to use Canvas to look at the assignments. So we'll go over look at that. And while we're there in Canvas, kind of review some of the grading and attendance. And before I do that, I'm going to kind of ask everybody to make sure that you have available both Chrome and Foxfire for your browsers, and make sure that you have them, install them. If you don't, just in the web industry, it's good to look at any websites or the website you build in both these browsers. And there's going to be some tools I'm going to be using within these browsers. So you might want to take a note of having these installed on your computer. And then I want to take a couple minutes and talk about our final project. I would like you to have a real client, and that client can be yourself. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that we're not all working on the same problem. I could come up with a generic fake client, customer, but then somebody would, we might end up just using each other's ideas. And what I want you to do is be able to come up with your own. And that way we can also do a lot more peer-to-peer reviews and discussions and looking at each other's work and inspiring and help them and maybe seeing some obvious new direction we can give each other. And I think you'll really, really like this. And if you're doing one for yourself, it could be your portfolio site. If you're going to be looking for any type of job in the web industry, you do need to have web presence. So that's what having your personal website will do for you. So think about that. You might have a client. It could be a family member, close friend, has a small business, looking for some web presence, and that would be completely acceptable. And I'm happy to discuss any of the ideas that you were thinking of for your clients. So be thinking about that, which way you want to go. And the homework assignments that we're doing, you may not have that client quite ready, so we can kind of work around that. But if you work for yourself, we can use it towards that. So with that, let's hop over and we're going to go take a quick review of the syllabus and a quick tour of Canvas. Okay, let's take a look at Canvas. This is, I kind of call it our online classroom. It is a learning management system. It's kind of a nice way, so you have one place to go look. All of you students can come look and find your assignments. When you first open it up, this is the home page that I set. Just a general overview of the course, my contact information, and you can click here for this course syllabus, or it will always be here. We have the navigation over here. Yours is going to look a little bit different because you're looking at the teacher version, but this should be pretty helpful. We're going to let's take a look at the syllabus. So you can always refer back to here, a little bit of the course description, a little course prerequisite, which nobody really for this course is going to need this, but if there's some people that want a little more in depth, we might do some more customization. That option is there. You can read about our class objectives, and I am not requiring any books. It says required books, and it says there is no required books. Technology just changes so much, and I found a lot of great online sources, and I didn't feel that we really needed to spend some money. And learning how to search on the internet and to learn is a really good a good skill to build on. This a little bit of our assignments are due at each module, submitted and graded. There's a due date, and usually it's basically by midnight of that night. I need to fix this because over here is actually how everything's weighted. I gotta change this to 85, but all your assignments are valued at 85% of your grade. And oh wait, actually no, that is correct. But anyhow, we have a different weighting. Participation is 15%, and this includes our final project. So the breakdown here of it's 15% participation, 16% assignments, and 25% of your grade is your final project. Now, I tell all my students that you're an individual. You are here to get the education that you want. I'm going to look at your project based on how I feel you want to learn from this. And if your focus is a little bit different, a different area than somebody else, then I'm gonna grade you on your strengths there. And you don't have to really be a good graphic designer to be able to do this, and don't feel you have to be. And believe it or not, 60% of your assignments will be done, and it actually is part of your final project. I'm just going to do one final grade once you tie everything together. And I do give a grade. I don't like to do pass or fail or just say you passed, because I think it's nice as an individual to really know how well you did. It helps you reach and set a little bit higher goals, and just know that you're an individual. All of our assignments will be turned in within this assignment area of this website of the Canvas. You're either going to be sending me an example of URL or uploading a PDF file. And this is a tentative course schedule. This is week 1. First class, the things that we're going to talk about. These are our assignments that are due. And this is the second class of this week. So this is Tuesday's class, and this is Thursday's class. I'm still in the process of creating and finishing the rest of our class, because I've talked to most of you, and I'm adjusting the syllabus. I did make a note here that the syllabus may change to accommodate teacher-student needs, and a lot of it is empty, because I'm still trying to see where we're going to go, how deep in different subjects. You guys have a little bit of a control over helping me guide you there, and I don't want anybody struggling. So, and at the bottom of this page, we also have the assignments of the syllabus that have been assigned so far. But I'm going to go over and take a quick peek at the assignments, because we can get directly to assignments from also here in this navigation. And I listed here. But another way too is I set all of the assignments are into a module. And this is the module over here. If you click on modules. And there's nothing for week 2, because we're only focusing on the assignments due for week 1. And that way you can keep, if you want to just break down by your week to see what's due in that week, you can do that. These I won't open up until we're closer, because I don't want you looking too far ahead and worrying about it, because some weeks we're going to just be building and experimenting and just discovering, and there may not be that much for assignments just working on your websites. And if you go into the homework, I'll just look at this one. If you click on your assignment, there's a detailed information about it. Here is a sample so you can look at. These are the samples I was telling you about. So this will give you the information of what you need to do for your assignment. Now, I'm the teacher. If this was you looking at the assignment, you would have a blue button up here that says submit. When you get your homework done, you will come back to the Canvas website, click on the assignments page, and then the specific assignment, back to here, click on the blue button, and you can upload your file there. So that's where you will keep it. So your documents will stay here. It's easier for me to grade. Can give you feedback per assignment as well. I have some pages set up here, which you can look at pages. And when you click on pages, the first page will come up here. And then we have all pages. That was the home page that you see. I have a page about me, so you can learn about me as an instructor. And if you want to learn a little bit about who I am, my background, that is there. You can use these are called breadcrumbs to get back to the pages. This is our front page. And this is resources. Oops. And I'm starting a resource page. I'm going to get that published. A resource page. I'm going to, put some different tools so you can come back here, look up some things. It might be stuff we talk about. I talked the other day about using Grammarly if you wanted to improve your writing skills. It's a free application. So this will be an ongoing page to be built. That's a pretty short but easy to find, tour of how to use the Canvas part of our classroom. Please email me if you have any other questions, but that should at least get you, organized. Oh, there's one more thing. We have a discussion area. And in the discussions, I have one class. I like to get you guys talking. And the first discussion is I would like you to list what you want your project to be. And to do this, you would read what I'm asking and then hit here, reply, and type in what you would like for response. Now this is called a WYSIWYG editor. If you type in here, you can deal with, some text. If this is all some text, you can make this bold if you want. You can be fancy, or you could just, send me a message in here and just post reply. So watch out, we do have one discussion. It's pretty much just posting who you think your final project's going to be, the project you're going to use for the class. So this should get you started on this part of our classroom. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Now that we've gone over and looked at Canvas, I want to just do a quick discussion on copyright and why you should care. Just there's so many people that because you see it on the internet, you think that it's free for taking. And that includes taking full text and just images using in your own websites. I'm going to really caution you about doing that. We're going to be doing this for educational, but you're going to be working on your own website. And I did have a client, and this wasn't too long ago. He was a blogger. He was pulling some images, what he found, and he would even reference the people. But all of a sudden, he got hit with a $1,500 bill. He had no choice but to pay it. And there's a lot of images out there that can be free, but you have to be careful because if you don't reference the credit to the creator the correct way or give them credit, you're going to come up with some financial problems because that would be copyright infringement, and you could be obligated to pay some hefty fines to the creator of those images. And that goes the same with text and context. So here's a couple sources that I've been using. The CanStock photo is very affordable, and I actually use that a lot. You put in like $25, you get like 30 or 40 credits, and you buy the images on credit. So some of them, if you're using for a website, you can get maybe 10 images for like $25. The stock Adobe is a much higher end. They can run $10 to $15 an image, and same with Stocksy.com. But I just recommend if you're building a site for yourself and you need this great background and you're not capable of taking your own photos or images or building them, to try and put a little money into purchasing them. Now, I wanted to talk quickly about some hosting options. With your own live client, just so that you can feel comfortable after this class to go on your own, I'm actually going to have you do some real hosting. These are 3 hosting companies that I'm recommending. We were going to review these in a later class, a little more detailed. So SiteGround.com is about $3.95 a month. We got to go look at a little bit more of those details. Bluehost.com is $2.95. Comes with a free domain. Most of these do come with a free domain. So if you don't own a domain name, we can purchase it through. But I just want you to be aware of this. We're going to probably talk a little bit more about this in a class coming up in week 2. But I'm just trying to get this out in front of you at this point. And now the rest of the class, I'm just going to talk a little bit about planning a successful website. Just having a website, just building one, you can't just starting with a blank page. You need to have a purpose for it, a solution for your users who are coming to look at the website. So what we're going to do is we're going to be defining the needs, and that way we will know what we can build. There's a what, a how, and a why. And a website does solve a real problem for the business or whoever the service and the company that it represents, and the people, the users, the visitors they're trying to reach. We're trying to solve their problems as well. So a well-designed website focuses on solving problems. And to do that, we need to understand 3 key things: the why, the how, and the what. And any organization or business that actually understands and defines this for themselves will actually inspire greater loyalty and engagement among their customers and their employees. You've got employees, depending on what type of client, they've got employees, and they need to understand all of this. They'll fit into this puzzle somehow as well. So what they do. These are the products or the services that are sold, and knowing how the website fits into the structure of the business makes it relevant and meets the business goals. But definitely understanding, and I want to give you some processes so we can kind of dig in, especially if you're building the site for yourself. What do you do? What is it? There's a product or something, and usually more than one happening, and we're going to help kind of pull that out. And also, how is it done? What makes the service or the product unique, or maybe much more different than a competitor? We need to actually understand that. And then very importantly is, why does the company do it? Or if you're for yourself, why do I do it? And yeah, it's obvious we want to make money, but there's a lot more. There's something more passionate. If you're more passionate about why you do it, for example, for myself, I'm a small business owner. I own a web development company, and I just don't build websites. What I do is I help small to medium-sized businesses learn how to do business online and how to better reach their customers. So that's, and I do it in that sort of an approach, instead of just saying I want to make money or I just want to promote my services. So when I'm talking to people, I intrigue them more of that. I inspire people, to do a better job of reaching their customers and understanding them. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about. We're going to be doing a lot of research so that we can learn about this. And then we got the business goals. which is the vision that drives the company. And we want to draw out what the goals are. I mean, if you're building a website for yourself, you want to get your portfolio out there. Let the world know what kind of artwork you create, what kind of clients that you want. Other goals, for example, I have here is to increase brand identity. Maybe it's just to draw attention to you. You've got a brick and mortar store, but you want to bring people in locally, and you need to have a website, and you're going to bring in, local traffic. And you want to have happy customers, or you could be a nonprofit company and you really want to support a certain part of the community. And you could be a company just looking for people to recruit volunteers. And obviously, we know it's to make money, but we're gonna try to pull out the goals of the business. And then we're going to assess the project after we kind of go through the stages that we're going to work on coming up soon. After we kind of get the business goals, we learn what the company does, then we really want to talk about what are the expectations, and those expectations is the turnaround. What's the timeline? If they want something turned around in 2 weeks, we're going to have to let them understand it takes a little bit longer, and kind of negotiate. And sometimes it's our job to bring out the reality. And then we have to evaluate requirements. What is required? Do they need people to sign up? Do they have an email that they really want to start generating out there? Are they going to be selling products and collecting money? And what kind of requirements are we going to need for that? And so all of that, as well as one that's really key, is if you're working for yourself, you need to find out where your resources and where your resources are coming from. And one of those I just talked earlier, I gave an example of imagery. Are you taking your photos for yourself? Are you going to use a stock photo service to do that? But for your client, you need to know who the contacts are, who's going to write the content and provide the imagery. You have to really have a good discussion about that. And after all of that, actually, believe it or not, we are ready to start the design process, to start thinking about the look and the feel, what kind of functionality we're going to be adding to this website. Except we have to go do some research. We have to actually learn a little bit more about our client. Now, this is an example of one that I have done for the industry. So understanding the industry that your client is in, and even yourself, if you're a web designer, graphic designer, you need to see what's current, what are the current trends, what are other design companies doing. You're a small company, you need to look at it. If you're looking at a new client, we need to understand the industry. And if we do our research, it lets our clients know that we care about them. We are learning about their business, and they gain some trust in what we're going to help them with when we build the website. Now, this is going to be an assignment coming up, and this has been posted. You'll be able to print this down and take a look at this. This is very elaborate. This is the template I use when I do this for my clients. But you can just list this, and a lot of this information I've directly copied and pasted, and I will go, I would suggest just copying things that you find this information over here. There are some resources, and I actually, so that the client needs to know where I pulled some of this data and information. But I found different media sources within the industry for this, for management consulting. And this is all copy and pasted. This isn't nothing I handwritten. This is for information only. I'm not putting the internet. This is fine to do. I know I talked about copyright, but this is news. I'm bringing in some really good information. And you just want to, when you're researching, really look at what you think would be interesting that might help you in some different trends. Um, you can print this off and take a look. It'll give you an idea of what I have pulled out. And you can just do a Word document if there's something, and just do it in simple paragraph forms. Just copy and paste it. Just break it out into some different areas. I happen to find enough information on past, present, and then I've got some future, some digital strategy stuff that I found. So it's based on what you find. And then part of the initial design process is I look at 3 competitors, and I do up a competitor analysis. Now again, you want to look at your competitors. If there's a storefront, you want to search locally. Locally as in put in the town, put in the state, and the name of the industry to find, local competitors. Now, if you have a client, they may know directly who their competitors are, and you can get that information from them. But what I look for, this is also going to be provided. You're going to have a homework assignment with this. You can download this to sort of look at this. But what I pulled out is some interesting things. This is for the same industry. This is for business consulting. I thought it was helpful to let this client know what others were doing. They have webinar workshops, and I list the types of workshops they were doing. Kind of their specialty areas that they covered. They were, health industry and some various things. So just the types of services, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to set ourselves out to look a little bit differently than our competitors. So looking at 3 of them will give us an idea. It also tells us we don't want our website looking through like theirs. Again, you can do this simply. This is my template for my business, and I share some pages that I looked at just to give a look and feel. And now amongst the research, this is all helping me understand the client, their background, their industry, and I'm becoming an expert for them. I'm getting, so that I can talk with my client. And if it's for myself, I'm getting an idea of who I'm going to be working with. And this was something I did. This was for a different industry. I just want to give you an idea of customer segments. I mean, you can't say, I have one customer. You need to understand their various customers. So in this one, I did this little chart as a comparison. You could do this similar thing. You are going to look at trying to decide who your customers are. And you could just do a simple chart like this, or however way you want to show it. This one I needed to find out, because of cost, who's willing to pay premium, but yet who wants quality service. And so we came up with, I have some educational audience, traditional relationships, gift seekers, and tourists. Now this is for the maple sugar industry. So we obviously have tourists who are willing to pay the premium for maple syrup, which they are. And so then we have gift seekers. We have people that are having weddings or looking for gift ideas. This allowed this client to understand that they are sort of a middle of the line. They're looking, they're going to pay a little bit more leaning towards the service. And this allowed my client to design some different products to sell by fleshing out this type of a customer and placing them on importancy, because then she designed some more samples to show and did a wedding section. And then she also did gift boxes and designed 4 different options with different items in them for people to buy and give as gifts. And then the traditional relationship people. This type of a person is, they kind of remember going to their grandparents' sugar house. They had this memorable thing, and so it's traditional, and it's something it's like a yearly thing. It's to go tour, the sugar houses and just maple syrup, just having it. So they're just a whole interesting market. Now the educational, these are, they They don't pay a lot of money. They expect some nice service because they're coming to learn. These are tour buses. These are local schools coming to tour the sugar house. And they don't necessarily buy a lot. But what makes these people important is they go home and they share it with people who then go back to the website and may order some items. So when you're thinking about your industry, your client, or yourself, you are going to find that you have not just one audience, that you have many. And we need to learn to design either your products, your website, and so we can market towards them. And a little bit later on, I'm not going to touch base, we're going to conceptualize the design space. And this is just going to, we're going to look at the competitors. I haven't touched base on this, so I'm just going to sort of, this is something coming down to the future, this part of this process. As well as designing, once we get stuff down, we design these style tiles so that you can set the branding for your website, stick with the continuity of the site. And we will be doing this a little bit later down, but this is another part of the process. And then we're going to map out the navigation. We're going to take sticky notes. They're one of my favorite tools because we can move them around and define the different areas of your website and dump them into a bucket. Each bucket is going to have all this various content, based within one area. And so we're going to do some exercises, and I have some tools. We're going to be looking at this. And after that stage, then we're going to go to wireframes. And this is just a low fidelity version of the website, just to get a sense of how it's going to kind of look. Websites aren't built traditionally like anything in print or using any of the InDesign programs and software to move things where you want and layer them. Websites are built in squares and columns. You need to learn how to push it and build within those restrictions. So this is sort of helping us get the design for that. And, we have a tool for that. And then I'm going to be reviewing with some collaborative online tools because in the industry they're very much used. And if you have a client that's far away, this might be something handy for you to do. Or if you'd like to, it would be a great place to store and just work on your schoolwork. I'm going to give a tour of this at another time. And then I really recommend keeping each of your clients' work together in a project book. I literally keep each of my customers within a book. I can pull it out and easily reference everything. I can bring it to my client's meeting. But it's really worth investing in some books. I'm lucky I go to Costco. If you guys are close to Costco down there, I can pick them up relatively cheap. I think they cost me $2 a piece. And that's just a really good way to keep things organized. So I'm going to go over a quick, these are some of the resources. And now I'm going to give a quick thing because our homework, I'm going to give you a quick tour over the Project Canvas at this point. It's not going to be as difficult as you think. And then here are some resources to look at a couple sample questionnaires. They are in the homework assignment, but I'm going to give you a quick review on that. So let me go over and let's take a quick look at the Project Canvas. Now, for one of your assignments for this week is to go over, this is Project Canvas, the link is in the assignments, to go over and download Project Canvas, which is where I'm at right now. And if you click the download, it'll bring you here. This is a sheet you can download the manual. And just quickly review this manual, because what this is it's a project management tool. And this is a worksheet. This is the worksheet, which is the second part of the download, that you're just going to fill out. for your client or for yourself. This is just a really nice, very simple, short little book that you can read through. Helps you plan the purpose, the scope, some success criteria, actions, milestones, and gives you, it's important to know who the stakeholders are, who the users, which your customers are, what resources you have, and risks. And how we're going to overcome some of the risks. And some of the risks you guys have if you're doing your own website, working for yourself, you're the only resource. You're going to have to narrow this down to smaller projects so you can accomplish more in smaller stages. And that will help control the scope. But kind of skim through this. This is not a really in-depth, so you can read through this with the printout sheet of the project sheet here, and you can write into this sheet. You can type into it. Let me show you quickly how we can type into it. Okay, I've just opened up the Project Canvas worksheet. I'm going to show you how you can work with this. I'm sorry it's kind of small and hard to read. And just do the best you can. I don't want you to stress over this. It's just trying to flesh out some ideas and some understanding. But the best way to work with this is if you open this up in an Acrobat, you go to your tools, and you click Add or Edit text box. And you put your cursor where you'd like to. You can put your name. And you can click in here, Actions, and to sell more text. And in any of these areas you can type and do that. And then you would go save as a PDF, and your changes will be there. So that's how you work with this Project Canvas. So this is part of your homework assignment. The other students have done this already and found it a very valuable tool, and they learned a lot. And reading the book that goes with this is pretty important. So go have fun. It is different if you're working for yourself, but it kind of helps you think about where you're going with your project, if it's a new business you're starting. And it also brings more ownership to your client if you're doing this for somebody else, because you need to think about them and some different things that you'll need to deal with before and during this project. So just do the best you can, and then when you get done with this, upload the PDF, go back to your assignment in Canvas. I know it's confusing. This is Project Canvas, and we work in Canvas. So, but go upload it there, and I'll give you some feedback, and it's just a nice, eye-opening little project to do. So now I think we're all set to move on, and you guys should be prepared to start working on your projects. I just finished reviewing the Project Canvas. The link to get to that and download sort of self-explanatory. And there's one more assignment that you need to do, and that is to design your own questionnaire, or find one online that you seem fit to do. Let me just give you a quick peek at a questionnaire, and after that we'll kind of I'll summarize it up and we should be set. I'm going to take a look at my questionnaire right now, so that and this really helps you with the design. It helps you find some key things and information about the customer. So let's go take a look at that. This is a design questionnaire that I use with my clients. It really helps me get more information from them. And I usually send this before I have my first client meeting. We've had the contact. So I send this. This is done as a Word document. It's more universal for clients to be able to open up, and then they can type into it. I want to learn more about, what they do, what problems they think they solve for their customers. What's the most impressive claim you can make for your product or services? Is there something unique that really makes them stand out? And here, in case they know who the direct competitors are, I can get that information. And then I explain a little bit why, I might want to get that from them. Here it is. What sets you apart from your competitors? They want to be unique. If their service does something nobody else does, we want to make sure we capture that information. But take a look at this, and I want you to kind of write your own. You are happy to steal. I have no real ownership of this. I've researched a lot of others and pulled this content through. You know, Share 5 adjectives or words that best describe your ideal customer. Well, this helps set a tone and how to direct, information to these customers, and sets the mood, the color. It's on a designer's perspective, this is really very, very valuable. So you can take a look at this, and I also ask, what sites do you really like to enjoy? And they do not have to be anything in your industry. It helps me, understand what they like, what they feel comfortable with. Even though we're designing the site for customers, not ourselves, not for the business. We will make it the functionality and the purpose fit, but we really are going to make, because if the customers don't come and don't use it, we have failed. So take a look at this. There's a couple other resources of some information I gave you for the assignment, and kind of come up with your own. If you have 5 questions you want to ask and just get information, that's up to you. This is something you'll grow on if you're going to do more websites. If you aren't, it's just a valuable tool. Go ahead, fill mine out if you want to, if you're doing it for yourself. But that's all I have for class. This is our first class. I think you've got enough, and you might feel overwhelmed. You have 2 assignments, and I also have down there is to think about, your hosting, but that's a little ways out. I put the assignment in here because we need to think about it. But I think we'll look at hosting as a group segment coming up for our second week, and see if we can all agree on maybe using one. That way, when we walk through, we're all looking at the same screens and feeling comfortable. So good luck, and pop me an email. I'm available if you need me for anything, and I don't want you to be frustrated. So always reach out. Don't put it off if you're frustrated. And that's it. Good luck.